Hello everyone, this is episode 3 of the Midgard Chronicles, and we're going to see the progress that we've made so far. We made one trip back to Midgard to get some of the supplies that we needed to get started here, and before we leave to Midgard we make sure we have room for at least 4 horses. We can bring back 4 horses on ropes behind the boat. Of course, on the way we found another horse and one passed away. So we have some room, but before we leave again, we'll be adding at least 2 of these, so we have room for 4 more. With the creature crates, we can put at least 2 other creatures there, so we could bring back 6. But we'll see. I also have other animals I might want to bring back. I brought some of the essentials from Midgard for cooking and for food, and it is winter. Might have started there. And yes, it is snowing, and yes, I love the view in the winter as much as I do in the other seasons so far. So we are collecting snowballs. Snowballs in a larder make food last much longer without decay. Now, this decay occurred before I had snowballs. And actually, I think it even occurred outside of the larder. Um, this is the very basic that we need to make sure that we can cook. One of the things that we cook the most is bangers and mash. We have bladders and we have fats. We're starting to have meat. We are about to have potatoes. We started some crops here. Um, the first thing that I did before all of this, and I started to do quite a bit of terraforming, by the way, but before I did all this, um, I actually spent a lot of time on this road. I'm not sure I captured that before, but it was just this lane here. This did not exist at all. It was not straight. It was difficult to go up and down. It was very dangerous. So I flat raised this area here. All of these are new dirt. It is a slope of 21. We can easily walk on it. Eventually, we will put some type of fencing to make sure we don't fall off of the cliff because that would be annoying. The other thing I did is this here was basically a cave that went to here and then one tile in that direction. And that's it. This here was very badly collapsed in such a way that this um, slope was 44 and this slope was, I don't know, 20 something. And fortunately I have some mortar in Midgard. With mortar you can raise floors in mines. So I fixed this floor and then I made basically the beginning of my mine the way I like it. I haven't reinforced everything yet. I'm working on that and I am waiting to have the ability to collapse this tile. I want that to just be part of a wall again. Oxide is a 65 mag priest, which means when he becomes 70, he'll be able to perform a strong wall cast and collapse this. I brought back from Midgard some storage shelves for crates and for other items, as well as one um, bulk storage bin storage, which is really very handy for larger quantities. And this is where I'm starting to bring back some of our resources from the original Midgard location. So this right now, we have an altar for oxide to level, and we are starting to accumulate resources that we bring back from Midgard, one trip at a time. Now, if we look at the way we've organized this so far, we have high quality materials, we have different type of logs, we have construction items, we're making bricks and mortar so that we can continue to build our buildings topside, and then different type of woods. Here is more raw materials that I collect to make sure I don't waste rock when I'm digging, or mining rather, or dirt when I'm digging to be utilized later. In this direction, I'm pretty sure this is why there was a mine to begin with. We have an iron vein, and then the idea here, I don't know if it's going to work. The idea here is we are hoping, this is all new, hoping to go all the way down to the water and have ourselves a harbor. We'll see if we can pull that off, I'm not sure. And of course it'll be all reinforced and we'll add lights. But this is already good enough to be a storage area to start to receive more and more goods from the original Midgard location. When we start to look topside, I'm using a program called Deed Planner. I think I mentioned that before. I don't have a good idea exactly of what I want. So the way I operate with Deed Planner generally is I terraform first, then I go into Deed Planner, look to see what I think it will look like, and then I terraform some more. In case anybody is interested or hasn't done this before, when you go to your token as a mayor, you can look at the village plan. And it's a pretty handy feature because it shows you basically your deed and some of the structures that you already have, your token. But what I use it for is to export. And when you export, you get to choose a directory. And you then get to import that into Deed Planner, which is probably something we'll do during one episode to look at it in more detail. I terraformed a lot of this. This is going to probably be the central house, sort of at least where cooking will occur for sure. There will be beds here so that our villagers can acquire some sleep bonus when they are offline. Um, I think most of um, the cooking, and I think that's it. I think it's going to be cooking and it's going to be sleeping in this building. And of course, views all around to the extent that it's possible. Maybe decks or patios. Pretty sure this area is going to be not just horses, but also at least cows. Um, Cows are useful for a variety of things: meat, leather, hide, and milk, of course. But this here, I'm going to basically level more. Space is of the essence. I love this deed. The old Midgard location, as much as I loved it, feels very claustrophobic now when I go there compared to this. So I will be needing a lot of dirt. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to be getting it. I'm not a huge fan of neighbors, and this area here is too inviting. So I might take some of that dirt, kill two birds with one stone. And then there is the area that I intend to make the castle, which is up there. And there was a little 3x3 area that was up there. I think it might have been some type of meditation area. I forget which one, but one of the paths, meditation paths, requires height on top of mountains. This is likely going to have wall. This is likely going to be where the gate is. Right now I'm working on this area here because it isn't at all. Like that area here, if this is our main entrance, we'll need this to be somewhat similar. It will not be symmetrical because that is longer, and because of need, I don't think I can go as long that side. This will probably level out to have a nice entry to both sides here, and the reason this is important is because this is the best way that I've found that I can build a path, carve a path to the top of the mountain for the castle. Now this has a little area here. I think that I may make a small house here, and the sheep might be here. This might be a good place to put a loom, um, and probably handle most of the cloth type of specialties, wool weaving. Found a tile, I made a pendulum, and through some divination I eventually found a water tile, because even though the water is closed, it is kind of far to go down every time you have to drink or fill a barrel for tempering or what have you. And from here, may change, but I think now is where I'm going to have access to this area. Now this is too small, so I'm slowly growing this way, um, and I'm likely going to grow at least 2 tiles that way, which will give me 5. I may take some of this dirt away here, and then the idea is from this area I will have a view of all around, including a view of most of my deed, which I think is what the castle should have. So this is the progress so far. So strategy has been mostly terraforming, one trip to Midgard to get resources, a storage cave or a mine, and yeah, that's the progress so far. So I think we're going to keep it short, and I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and keep on worming.